At a local guild meeting this week, we were all taking turns weaving at some small looms, and one of my friends sat down, started weaving. Every time she threw the shuttle, she touched the selvages to kind of straighten them out. And I asked her, "Why are you doing that?" She said, "Don't you?" I said, "No, I don't." I'm going to demonstrate a couple of things here, how I throw the shuttle, winding the bobbin, and a few other little techniques. First of all, this is not quite tight enough, so I'm going to tighten up my warp fairly tight. Now, when I first started this particular project, it was about 6 scarves that were on here, and when I wound it on, or I tied it on, I started in the middle and I worked my way back and forth until I got to the end. The idea is that the selvages, when I tied them on, were just a little bit tighter than the center. Well, I also have, what I happen to like, are the Harrisville shuttles. It's very well worn. Every once in a while I do sand it, clean it off a little bit. The other thing that I'm using are chat bobbins. They have little ends on each side. To me, it slows it down a little bit. If you do not have chat bobbins, you can also use a Leclerc bobbin, and you can put little cardboard donut, like if you can find a tube of some kind, you can add that to each end. Now right now I'm almost at the end of the bobbin, and what I find is when you get near the end of the bobbin, the weight is lighter. When the weight's a little lighter, sometimes I have to put a brake on the bobbin. And how do I put a brake on? I just use my thumb and just gently touch the bobbin, not very hard. Now the other thing you'll see here is you might see this pin. What I do is when I measure by feet. So down below here, there was another pin, and that was at 12 inches. So every 12 inches I put the pin, and then I do a little tally. I have a little post-it I tally. Just another little information. So right now I'm going to start to demonstrate as I throw the shuttle, and I'm going to put a little brake on. And there's a reason why. Now I'm going to watch me touch the end there. I pulled it too tight, so I do have to touch it sometimes. So right now I'm just holding onto the bobbin a little bit, because I'm at the end of this particular bobbin. It's a lot lighter, so the throw or the toss back and forth is a little more difficult to do. Now I'm at the end. I just want to show you how I add another particular bobbin onto it. First of all, they do unwind from the bottom. That's how that happens. And let's say it doesn't quite fit all the way across. Let's say I'm going to add it, and I just bring it in just a little bit here, tug a little bit, and then I'm going to weave this, and I can let a little tail out. I'll just keep on weaving. Now you notice I'm also, now the shuttle is a little bit heavier. But again, if it goes too far, I don't want that to wind out too much, so I do want to wind it back on. This just takes a lot of practice, and I highly recommend that you practice first on a tabby. Now right now I can see it's starting to get a little loose there, starting not to look the way I like it to look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to advance the warp. I find the closer you get to the reed, then you might lose a little bit of tension. That's just my personal experience. So now I'm back to weaving, and already I can see that the selvage looks better. It's pulling in just a little bit better. I happen to be using a bamboo, a 6'2" bamboo, and I believe the cotton might be a 6'2", might be a little bit heavier. Everything has been hand dyed. So what I'll do though, so I don't have to do it later, I'm also rocking my body. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. So what I'll do before I continue much farther is I will get my scissors, and I'm going to trim this off now, here, and trim it off there, so I don't have to do it all later on.